adorable. We are delighted to welcome you to kindergarten orientation. Some of you are excited and can't wait to start school. Some of you are a little bit nervous. And in fact, I have to tell you, many years ago when I was in kindergarten, I was nervous. In fact, I was scared, and I cried when my mommy left me in my kindergarten classroom. And as she walked away, I ran to the door like this, screaming and hollering. But you know what? My first day of kindergarten wasn't so bad. And my second day got better, and the third day got better. And after a while, I loved school, and I still like school, which is why I enjoy coming to Marshall School so much. Our teachers have been really busy transforming their rooms into magical places that I think you'll enjoy entering every day. They have to be magical. You'll be spending 180 days there. That sounds like a long time, but I promise it will go quickly. So parents and students, we hope this kindergarten orientation, which we truly wish we could do in person, will prepare you for the wonders of kindergarten at Marshall. So I am going to now introduce you to my amazing partner, Assistant Principal Laura Swiberius.
Hello, everybody. I'm Laura Swiberius. I am the Assistant Principal at Marshall. I want to say a warm and happy hello to all of our families and a super excited hello to all of our kindergarten rock stars. I can't wait to meet all of you next week. It's going to be a really exciting week. So I have been working in the South Orange Maplewood School District for about 22 years. This is my 22nd year. And I spent a long time working at Jefferson Elementary School, which right now is our partner school where the older kids go who are in grades 3-5. And then about 5 years ago, I came to work at Marshall School, and I absolutely love it here. I am so excited for all the wonderful things that we're going to get to explore together this year. We are going to be doing everything. We're going to be reading. We're going to be learning about math and our numbers. We're going to be learning about making friends with people we don't know and learning to play. We're going to be learning to write. We're going to be singing and dancing and doing all the fun things that we love to do at Marshall. And as Ms. Horn said, you are going to have many exciting adventures here for all of our 180 days. So again, we will get started next week with all the fun, and I hope to meet all of our kindergarten stars in person, and we will meet our families as well, obviously virtually at first, but we'll be getting to know you bit by bit as the year unfolds. So just know we have an open door policy, and please reach out to us as the year progresses with any questions, concerns, or needs that you have. All right, so I would like to kick off by now we're going to introduce a number of important people to you today on our orientation. So the first people I'd like to introduce are the rest of our office staff, which you really will be interacting quite frequently with. They're going to be really important people in your lives. So first, our main office secretary, Miss Jackie Costa. Let's have Miss Costa say hello.
Hi, everybody. I'm Miss Jackie. I cannot wait to see you all here on Monday. I've been working here since just December, so I'm really new, and I have never loved being anywhere as much as I love being here at Marshall. I know you guys are going to love it here as much as I do.
Thanks so much, Ms. Costa. And I'd like to now introduce our office clerical aide, Ms. Magda Toledo. Ms. Toledo, are you here? Can you say hi?
Hi, everybody. Welcome to Marshall. Just I want to tell you a little secret. The office is the first and the last resources. Anything you need, just come to us. Miss Jackie and I, here we are for you. Welcome, everybody.
Ms. Toledo will be another friendly face to you in the office. She greets students when they're coming in. If you're coming in a little bit late and you need a friend to walk with you to class, Ms. Toledo is always available to do that. She will help you with anything you need. Now I'd like to move on and introduce you to some more important people. We have our PTA president and vice president. Our president is Ms. Rachel Lubetkin, and she is here with us. Our vice president, Mr. Stephen Koch, was not able to attend today, but I want you to know his name. He's part of our executive board, and as I said, our vice president, so will also be a really involved and important person for you to connect with this school year. So Rachel, are you here with us?
Yes, I'm here. Thank you so much for allowing me to join. I'm delighted to be able to welcome all of you upcoming kindergarten students to Marshall Elementary. You may have older siblings who have been there and know already what an amazing school it is. If not, you're in for quite a treat. I want to say the PTA, just as far as the role, it is really to build relationships with the students, the families, the administration, the teachers, and the staff. So we are focusing very heavily on building community in the year ahead. We put on a lot of events, some social events. You might have heard about the ice cream social coming up on September 24th. We're also safely planning these events, so know that we'll be taking steps to ensure your safety while moving forward. We'll be working on cultural arts programming, service projects, academic enrichment, organizing school pictures, and then all those other events that are benchmark experiences for all the students. As you know, Marshall is kindergarten through 2, which means that we have just lost a chunk, I would say the majority of our PTA parents this year. So we are also very eager to have new people join us. So I wanted to put a little plug in for that. We still have several board member positions available as well. So please consider joining the PTA. Also, we will have a table on the first day in front of Marshall Elementary by the sign. So we will have coffee and donuts. So you're welcome to stop in and celebrate the first day, or maybe cry a little bit with friends if you need to. And of course, we'll be happy to answer any questions about the PTA there as well. Thank you.
And now we will have greetings from our school social worker, Mrs. Napoleon.
Ms. Napoleon, are you on with us? I think she was on. Give her one more second. All right, maybe she's having some technical difficulties. We'll circle back and see if she can jump on. All right, so in the interim, if Ms. Napoleon pops on, we will certainly insert her in. She's an important member of our Marshall community. We want to get you to meet her. But without further ado, we're going to introduce our kindergarten staff. So we'd like to start with our kindergarten classroom teachers. I will call them by name, and they will then introduce themselves and say a little bit about themselves, but some of them will also be telling you a little bit about the kindergarten day. On this particular meeting, we're not going intensely in depth in regards to curriculum, but we wanted them to share a little bit about what the kindergarten day feels like in the first few weeks and months of school in the different areas that the kids will be working in. So the first person I'd like to introduce is Miss Aquilas. Is Miss Aquilas here?
Yes. Hello, my name is Kimberly Aquilas. I am in room 107. I have been a teacher in the South Orange Maplewood School District for 20 plus years. I am starting my third or fourth year here at Marshall. With the pandemic, I'm kind of losing count. Needless to say, I've been around a while. I recently just celebrated the wedding of my only son and his beautiful new bride. So we're still reeling a little bit from that exciting accomplishment and achievement in our lives. I'm so excited and so happy to be back in school in person with the children. I think we've all waited a really long time, and we're really excited to have things kick off. I'm also going to just speak a little bit about part of our day. And in our day, in kindergarten, we include phonics, a phonics portion of our day. And when we talk about phonics, what we're doing is we're referring to the idea that letters represent sounds in spoken language. Before kids learn to read, print, they become aware of how sounds work in words, rhyme and syllable and blending and stretching and all kinds of spoken language. When we get into the formal aspect of the concepts of print, we learn the beginning sounds and ending sounds, we blend sounds, we create words, we decompose words to isolate sounds, we segment them, break things down. We will learn letter sound correspondence, we learn letter sequencing, we learn letter formation. We do all of that through books, charts, songs, rhymes, activities, movement, both written and hands-on games throughout the day. Some folks often think if their child is an early reader that this part is too juvenile or it's not for their learner. Rest assured, phonics is for everyone, even early readers sometimes don't understand the how they became a reader. So they may quickly fill in the blanks and solidify that part of their learning so that as they progress through the levels and through the grades, they have a very firm foundation and will know how to decode as they enter into language that they're not familiar with. So rest assured, it is something that we all need. And it is something that the children usually enjoy, I think, the most in their day, because it's something that they come with a little bit of familiarity so that they're confident, and it's also something new that stretches them as they go along. So we look forward to learning and growing together.
Thank you so much, Mrs. Aquiles. The next teacher I'd like to introduce is Mrs. Bunn. Is Mrs. Bunn here?
Hi, I'm here. I'm Mrs. Nicole Bunn. I've been teaching for 14 years. 11 of those years have been in kindergarten. So I am so excited to meet all of you and work with you this year. It's going to be an amazing year. I did want to talk a little bit about writing workshop. Kindergarten writing consists of building routines and procedures to become independent writers. In the beginning, we focus on building a community of writers and what writing workshop looks like in the classroom. Most writers will use either a journal or a writing folder. Some will use both because we really work with the kids on keeping their writing organized. We do a lot of shared writing to model what the process looks like. The biggest focus in the beginning of kindergarten is talking and drawing. We'll be spending a lot of time talking about topics that we can write about and also drawing pictures. We draw detailed pictures, and later on we'll start adding labels to those pictures, add words to those pictures, and then we'll start working with the students on writing sentences to go along with their pictures. And a lot of writing will end with a nice celebration in the classroom to celebrate all the work that the students did.
Is this refresh?
Thank you so much, Mrs. Bunn. My next, everyone, the lights in my room go out when I don't move, and this has been a chronic pandemic job issue for me. So you will see me standing up and down throughout the presentation. So I will do that in a minute, but I'd like to introduce right now one of our multi-age teachers, Ms. Gavrin. Is Ms. Gavrin here?
I'm here.
Oh, there she is.
Hi, I'm Miss Gavrin. I'm one of the multi-age teachers, and this is my third year at Marshall. And I'm really excited to welcome some new friends this year.
Thank you so much, Ms. Gavrin. Now I'd like to introduce our other multi-age teacher, Ms. Barr. Is Ms. Barr here? Oh, there you are. Ms. Barr,
I am.
there you are.
Nicole's name, sorry. Hi, everyone. I am Tanya Barr. I've been a teacher in this district for 16 years, but I've been a special ed teacher for well over 20. I wanted to welcome you all to a brand new school year, and I'm looking forward to working with many of your children.
Thank you so much, Ms. Barr. Now I'd like to introduce a teaching team. First, we have Ms. Eicher. Is Mrs. Eicher here? She is a general education kindergarten teacher.
Hi, I'm here to take this off the talk. Hi, my name is Agnes Eicher. I've been teaching for, I think this is my 11th year. I've been at Marshall for, this will be my 2nd year. And my hopes for this year are to instill a love for lifelong learning to all of our students with my co-teacher.
Thank you so much. And now I'd like to introduce Ms. Eicher's co-teacher, who's a special education teacher in kindergarten with us this year, Ms. Salerno.
Hi, for all the grown-ups, I'm Gabby Salerno. For all of our kindergartners, I'm Miss Salerno. I'm so excited to meet you all in person next week. Are you excited too? Give me a little nod. Yeah, I'm also a little nervous. I have first day jitters. You might have them too. Grown-ups have them, kids have them, we all have them. But I'm so excited for, what I'm most excited for is definitely the first day of school. And I can't wait for you all to walk in here and see all the amazing things we have ready for you. We cannot wait to see you. This is my 6th year teaching and my 2nd year also at Marshall. So I can't wait to see you all.
Thank you so much, Ms. Salerno, Ms. Eicher. Our next kindergarten teacher is Mrs. Intile. Mrs. Intile, I see you already. There you are.
Hi, everyone. I am super excited for school. I have been teaching at Marshall in the district for 22 years. And I just dropped my son off at college. So I am an emotional puddle, but it's going to be all good. Two fun facts. I used to teach at Jefferson a long time ago with Miss Wiberius. And when I was 5 years old, I was a Marshall kindergarten friend. I went to school here at Marshall, and then I just loved it so much. I never wanted to leave, and I came right back as soon as I could. I wanted to talk to you a little bit about social emotional learning. We are really big on learning and teaching the whole child, learning about and teaching to the whole child. So we really want you as parents to know that your littles are safe in our spaces, and we really want our students to know that what they have to say is super important to us. So in our spaces, every voice is heard and everyone has a chance to talk to each other. And with each other, and to share their ideas and feelings. We also want to work on independence and build confidence in areas such as tying their own shoes. So friends, practice tying your shoes. We want to work on independence during snack time. So practice being confident in opening up your juice or your little snack bags. We want you to feel confident using the bathroom. So practice knowing kind of what needs to happen in that space where you are independent and it is a private moment for you. We want you to know how to unpack and pack your kindergarten backpacks where all of your treasures will live. And eventually, we want you guys to feel really comfortable using devices to play games that we give you or go on websites that we have available for you. So we're always here to help you guys. So always make sure you as grown-ups are asking for help, and you as little kindergarten friends are asking for help too. Thanks, guys.
Thank you so much, Mrs. Intile. Our next kindergarten teacher is Ms. Kaplis.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to Marshall. I, too, have to share something with you that Ms. Intile did. Not only did I attend Marshall School as a kindergartner, I went all the way to 5th grade to Marshall. I was the first class to go to Jefferson for 6th grade. Marshall is such an amazing place, and I cannot wait for you to experience all the wonderful things that we do here every day. What I want to share with you is one of my biggest passions, reading. Reading is something that we all do every day. Our goal in kindergarten is to instill the love of reading and build a community of readers. We want the children to become confident and see themselves as readers. Our job is to hook them as readers. We will explore reading in the classroom in many different ways. We will provide the children with shared reading, read alouds. We will have independent reading, buddy reading, small group, guided reading, and book baggies. We are so excited to be on this journey with you and your children. And I want to share one thing with you all. Every day, your child will come home with either a book in their hand, a book in their head, and definitely a book in their heart. So welcome new families, welcome returning families, and we can't wait to see you all on Monday. Thank you.
Thanks so much, Ms. Kaplis. All right, our next kindergarten teacher is Mrs. Keese.
Hi, kindergartners. Hi, families. My name is Kelly Keese, and I have been teaching in the South Orange Maplewood School District for 15 years. I've taught 5th grade, 2nd grade, and kindergarten, and I can't wait for a year of wonder, friendship, and learning for all of you. It's going to be fantastic. So now I'll tell you a little bit about what math will look like in your kindergarten classrooms. We use the Math in Focus program, which will engage your children in learning experiences using the concrete pictorial abstract approach. This means that students will first work with physical objects such as counting cubes, chips, dominoes, or other manipulatives that they can touch and handle. They will then work with mathematical ideas using pictures and diagrams. And finally, they will connect concrete experiences and pictorial representations to symbols such as numbers. Each day, students will have a daily math lesson where they will learn foundational concepts through songs, rhymes, and hands-on activities. In kindergarten, the foundational concepts include counting, sorting, and number sense. Children will also practice math content during daily calendar routines. In kindergarten, we believe that mathematics is a way of thinking. Beyond learning procedures, children need to develop the confidence to think mathematically. When this happens, they will be able to solve all kinds of problems in everyday life. Here's to a fantastic year in kindergarten math. See you all on Monday.
Thank you so much, Mrs. Keys. Our next kindergarten teacher is Mrs. Mamrak.
Hello, kindergarten friends. Hello, kindergarten families. It is so nice to see everyone on screen, and I can't wait to see my kindergartners in the classroom. I have been teaching in the district for 10 years. 8 of those years were at Seth Boyden School, and this is my 2nd year teaching at Marshall, and all of those years have been in kindergarten. I am most excited to be back in the classroom. I have been having so much fun getting the room ready and set up so we can have a safe, fun, loving learning environment. And I can't wait to see you guys on Monday.
Thank you so much, Mrs. Mamrak. And our last kindergarten teacher to speak with you today is Mrs. Wood.
Hi, everyone. Hi, kindergarten families and kindergarten students. My name is Laura Wood, and I am excited to be starting my 20th year as an educator and my 6th year here at Marshall as a kindergarten teacher. After the last year and a half of teaching, my biggest wish for this year is that my classroom is once again going to be filled with productive noise and laughter as our kindergarten students start their journey as learners. You've heard a lot about what will happen generally during the school day in terms of reading and writing, phonics, and math, social emotional learning, and becoming independent. But I want to talk with you just briefly about one other important thing. I know all of you are going to be so anxious to find out all about your child's day here at Marshall. And I wanted to give you a couple of tips for talking with your kindergartner about their school day. I know it can be tempting to say, how was your day? And you want to hear all about it. And instead you get, it was fine. It was okay. I don't know. So instead of asking broad questions like, how was your day? Or what did you do today? You can try to narrow things down to help your to help your child focus in on different parts of their day. You can ask questions like, what did you like best about today? And once they tell you, you can follow up with why. You can ask them questions like, who did you sit with at lunch? Or who did you play with at recess? You can ask what they did. You can ask, what did you do today in your specials class? Find out a little bit more about PE or library or music or art. You can also ask questions about the things that maybe didn't go so well, like what was something today that you didn't like as much, or that was tricky for you. Those are important questions to ask and discussions to have as well. And always, always, always check through their backpacks with them and ask questions about the wonderful things that will come home with them. So, although recess or lunch may be an answer you will sometimes get when you ask your child about their day and what they liked, changing how you ask the questions and asking about specific parts of the day can help them to share more with you and you to learn more about the wonderful things that they are doing.
Thank you so much, Mrs. Wood.
Okay, and now I have the pleasure of introducing our special subject teachers. So I'm going to begin with physical education, Marcy Groschultz.
Hi there, I'm Marcy Groschultz. My camera's on, so already a step up from last year. This is my lovely partner, Mr. Dylan White. I encourage my students to say my last name Groschultz, but sometimes it's difficult, so I'm often lovely known as Mrs. G. Mr. White and I are the physical education teaching team, and we have many fun and exciting new activities planned this year. We really look forward to a wonderful year in person together. And Mr. White, do you have anything to add?
No, it's nice to see everybody. My name is Dylan White. This is my 7th year here. I'm really excited to meet everyone. We're looking forward to Monday.
Welcome.
Thank you, Ms. Groschultz and Mr. White. Mr. White, I wasn't leaving you out. I was going to introduce you next, but I'm so glad you partnered together, so thank you. Next up is art, Ms. Jessica Fong.
Hello, everyone. I am before you not only as your art teacher, but I'm also a kindergarten parent this year. My daughter is going to be in Ms. Mamrak's class. So we're very excited to be once again in the Marshall family in a different way. Obviously, I love art, but my goal when I have your students, when we have those wonderful kindergartners, is to foster a lifelong love of art, whether you're creating it, looking at it, or just absorbing and enjoying it. I want to make it something that's very accessible. We learn about a wide variety of materials. We talk about shapes and lines and patterns and all sorts of art concepts and how we can use them to express our ideas, which ties a lot into that social emotional learning you've heard about. And just learning how to problem solve and think creatively. Sometimes great problems are solved through art, but you can also use those skills outside of the art room. So that is my big goal. So I look forward to a very colorful year with all of these great kindergartners.
Thank you, Ms. Fong. And now music, Ms. Greta. Ms. Ashley Greta.
Hi, everyone. My name is Ashley Greta, Miss Greta, and I'm going to be your music teacher at Marshall. It's my 8th year teaching and my 3rd year at Marshall School. And we are going to have so much fun together, singing, dancing, playing instruments, creating music together. And I'm really excited to meet all of you.
And finally, library, Ms. Maria Cazanes.
Hi, everybody. My name's Maria Daphne Cazanes, and I'm the school librarian here at Marshall. And I don't know if you can tell, but I'm actually sitting in probably the most magical spot in Marshall School, which is the Secret Garden. So I'm really happy to be back in this amazing library. We have an amazing library. My goal is for your child to become a lifelong reader, and also I foster information literacy. Marshall Library has about 19,000 physical books. We also have high quality children's periodicals, subscription databases, and something we're really proud of is a very large digital ebook collection. So actually, after I'm done talking, I will put that information into the chat so you can click on it and kind of familiarize yourself with checking out an ebook, which you can do anytime, 24/7. Your child will visit the library once weekly for a library lesson and book checkout. So when it's their day for library, please make sure that they return their library books on time. And that's that. I'm really excited about this year and looking forward to seeing everybody.
Thank you, Ms. Cazanes. And next up, we will have health updates by our school nurse, Ms. Jean Johnson. And I'm extremely biased. I think she is the best nurse in the school district.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. I think they put me last because they know I can just go on and on. I'm going to just really quickly say that I'm hopefully affectionately known as Nurse Johnson. I have been here for 32 years. When I arrived 32 years ago, I had a second grader in tow. I had a kindergartner and a brand new baby. And my principal asked, could I work here and be professional and keep everything separate? And I said, I can, and I did. It gets a little scary when some of the parents now that were my students are now parents, but I'm still hanging in here. And I just want to say, we love children here. Just listening, I just want to say to you, you can just shake your head. What an amazing place Marshall School is. These wonderful teachers. It's just a pleasure working with everyone. Normally what I do, I like trivia. I normally tell you the most popular name for the incoming kindergarten class for 2021-22. I don't have it this year, and I feel registration was very, very difficult with the new way our district has decided to do registration. And I still have kids that are waiting. I'm waiting to actually check their records. So I can't tell you, but maybe at a later date, I'll tell you the most popular name. And it gets more interesting every single year. What I want to say is I had the opportunity also to speak by email and by telephone with a lot of you. We talked about vaccines and physicals. We talked about medical concerns. We talked about a lot of things. And for my parents that honestly, it's Thursday. When I get a chance, when I get your record coming in, because I noticed that we have more kids registered than last week. If I need to call you or email you about something, I certainly will. I just want to remind you all to make sure that your immunizations are up to date, boosters, and I've been trying to relay that information to you. Also, incoming kindergartners need a new physical for us all, so we just want to make sure they're ready for PE. We just want to make sure that if there are any medical problems, any concerns, that we know about it. Also, I want to go back over, Mrs. Intal was talking about readiness, and I want to just make sure that at home, make sure by now your kids know how to wear their masks. They will be masking, the entire time in the building, just that they know how to wear their masks, pack some additional, maybe one or two in a backpack in case they get wet. They'll be able to change into a new mask. Really important, we are asking you to make sure that they know how to wash their hands. 20 seconds, lots of lather. We're going to be doing a lot of that here around Marshall School. We want to make sure that as much as possible, they're using the bathroom as independently as they possibly can. So, just keep practicing with them in terms of things like that. I'm going to say, if you need me for anything, you can contact me at J Johnson, and then that long email address that the district has. You can always call me also, but email me, and I will get back to you. I've got tons of emails I need to get back to parents and other people, but I promise you, as soon as I can, I will do that. I will be contacting the new students coming in, and I'll contact the parent if I need any additional information from you. And first day for our kindergarten parents, make sure that when you're packing your snack, you have a separate snack bag versus the lunch bag. Your kids are maybe new at this, and yeah, I've had kids in the past that have eaten their entire lunch for snack, and then at lunchtime, they're kind of at a loss. So make sure it's easier for them to have snack bag and then lunch bag. And that's what I want to say. I love kids. I never thought I would end up in pediatrics, but 32 years here in the district, and I've had many, many years in peds. So welcome, and we're looking for a healthy and a safe 2021-22. Thank you. Goodbye.
Thank you so much, Nurse Johnson. Okay, everybody, I'm going to talk to you for just a moment or two about arrival and dismissal, two very busy times of day here at Marshall. So I will speak about arrival first, and a lot of this information, of course, was already put out in our Marshall protocol, so I'm just going to sort of talk through a bit more with you. So arrival. So obviously we have bussers and we have walkers. Walkers is the term we often use, but of course we know some families are driving. So it's really, just describing our students that are arriving by bus and the other students who are arriving each morning with their families. So for bus students, we have bus attendants here at Marshall, bus monitors, if you will, that will go out each morning and help the students to come off of the buses. So for kindergarten students in particular, we will tell you that they are escorted off the bus. They do not exit the bus on their own. So grown-ups that they will get used to seeing every day, which are just some of our Marshall teachers, general education teachers, as well as special area teachers, volunteer as our bus monitors in the morning. So they will board the buses. The first couple days we'll be helping everybody to get to their classrooms, but after a few days, our first graders and second graders are usually able to become independent. So what your kindergartners will experience is that the Marshall grown-up will come onto the bus, tell the first graders and the second graders that they are able to begin entering the building, and they will walk directly to their classrooms. The kindergartners will then remain on the bus for just a few more moments, and then they will be escorted off the bus with a particular staff member, because we have multiple bus monitors who will be doing this all at the same time. And so they won't be walking alone. Bus monitors will help them to walk to their classroom, and find their classroom teachers and the rest of their friends. All right. That will happen in the morning at arrival. And for bussers, let me say that happens in the opposite form at the end of the day during dismissal. We will be picking up kindergartners in their classrooms and walking them up to the main entrance of the building, which is where our buses arrive and depart. And we will be helping them to board the buses. Our bus monitors also help out with bus safety in the sense that we will be ensuring that our students are seated properly, that they are seat belted, and that everybody is obviously on the correct bus and ready to go. Then we have our students who are arriving, as again, we call them our walkers, our students who are arriving in the morning with their families. So there are lineup locations that, because of the pandemic and our need to social distance, are at this point spread all around the Marshall building. So you should have received your lineup map already, and you can locate where your child's teacher is lining up outside. The arrival time in the morning and the dismissal time in the afternoon are in the same location. So you are picking your child up at the end of the day in the same spot where you drop them off in the morning. So we have cones that will be set outside, definitely for the first few weeks of school until everyone gets familiar with their lineup spots. And the cone has a little sign sticking out of it with the classroom teacher's name. So on the first few days, you can look for that cone, again, in your designated lineup area. So we do ask that you help us to keep the students socially distanced as much as possible when they're online. They should be wearing their mask when they arrive to school. So that means when they're outside online as well. We also ask for our families, our grown-ups, to be masking also when you are entering school property. So that would be definitely when you're picking up at the end of the day and dropping off in the morning. We just want to keep everyone as safe as possible, and it also sets a great example for our Marshall students. We do ask that you are arriving in the morning by about 8:40. We really don't need the students online for very long. Teachers will come out promptly at 8:45. They will stand in front of their lineup sign, sort of look around and make sure that all of their students are lined up and ready to enter the building. And then one by one, they will, of course, be filing into the building with their classes. If you are arriving after 8:45, and you are going to your lineup location and you do not see the class, at that point you will need to come around to the front of the building, to the main entrance. You can ring the doorbell and our office staff will help you to have your child escorted to the classrooms. We do have a no visitor policy still in place as part of our pandemic health and safety protocols. So when you bring your student, your child, to the main office, if they're arriving late just because you're running a few minutes late, or maybe they're arriving even in the middle of the morning because they have an appointment, family members are not allowed to come into the building, but our office staff is very used to this procedure. And as you saw, Ms. Toledo and Ms. Costa are very friendly faces, and they will help you separate from your child at that point, and they will escort them again with one-to-one assistance to get to their classroom. Then we move to dismissal procedures. Oh, and I'm sorry, and this goes for arrival and dismissal. One other note for families outside is we do also have a no dog policy that has come up a couple of times in the last couple years. And we know, especially in the warm weather, that it is a great time to combine, picking up your children and, of course, bringing your family pet along for the ride. But we do have various reasons, obviously, why we want to, keep that for safety and protocols, as far as also sometimes children have fears, not just health and safety. We have some students who are allergic to dogs, some students that have, a fear of different animals or dogs. So we do ask that no pets are brought to the lineup in the morning for arrival or for dismissal. For dismissal, again, our time is 3:15. So we do ask that you make every possible effort to be prompt. For obvious reasons, we want to have our students connect with their families right away. It also makes our students feel a bit nervous, right, if their family members are not there at 3:15 to pick them up. So we do understand that emergencies happen. So if you do have a situation where you are unable to arrive at Marshall for pickup at 3:15, the best thing to do would be to call the main office at that point. I would not email the classroom teacher for an emergent situation because they may not check email until after the school day dismisses. So call the main office, let us know. That way we can at least prep your child and say, okay, it's no big deal. This is what happened. And, whoever in the family is coming to pick them up will be running a few minutes late. And that's not an issue. At that point, though, same as in the morning, if you're arriving due to an issue after 3:15, you will not go to the lineup location outside, though. You will come to the main office again, which is at the main entrance, the front of the building, and we will have your child waiting for you there. The same goes for busing, though. So our children at Marshall at their age level do need to be picked up at a bus stop. So if you have an emergency, something occurs where you're not going to be able to make it to a bus stop on time, that is even more important and urgent that you call the school to let us know. And then we will make arrangements with you in regards to pickup for your child. All right. So that is all I have to share right now for arrival and dismissal. I'm going to move it over to Ms. Horn to talk a little bit more about the other aspects of our school day.
Well, with regard to health and safety protocols, which is next on our agenda, I really don't have to get into that, into too much detail because our protocols were sent to you last week. However, I did want to explain that we have the Marshall Pandemic Team, which is made up of personnel here in the school, various teachers on each grade level, general education, special education, social workers, parents, administrators, office staff. And we meet monthly to talk about the needs of the school from a health, social, and emotional perspective as it relates to the current crisis. And we talk about the needs of our students, and we discuss our protocols and determine whether or not they're working and what needs to be tweaked in order to keep our students safe. We want you to understand that your students your children, our students, are the most important things to us. So with that in mind, I know it was already mentioned that we have a mask requirement. So children will be wearing their masks indoors and outdoors, unless they're eating or on a break. Our stairwells are directional, so they'll be going up one stairwell and down another. We promote social distancing as much as possible at all times in the classroom and in the hallways. Our water fountains are closed, but we do have a water filling station by our cafeteria. So we encourage you to send the children with a filled water bottle, and then they can fill up their water bottles as needed during the day at the filling station. As Mrs. Swiberia has already indicated, visitors are not allowed at this time. We welcome the day when we can have visitors in the building again. We do want to let you know that the PTA is planning activities in outdoor spaces, which we hope you'll find engaging. So we're sure you'll hear more about that. And also, if you find that children are symptomatic at any time, just err on the side of caution and keep them home. And if you travel, please contact the school nurse and communicate with her so that she can determine if there is a need to quarantine. And we are more than happy to provide virtual instruction in accordance with district and state regulations. So that's all I have for health and safety protocols at this time. So I'm going to turn it back to Laura for lunch and recess.
Okay, so now on to one of our most sort of positive steps in the right direction this school year is that we are, of course, back for a full day of school, which is amazing. And we are very excited about that. So our full day of school obviously includes lunch and recess again. I know my second grader started this week and was, not that she was not excited to see her friends and her classroom teacher, but she said to me, I haven't been to recess in a year and a half. That was her fixation. I'm so excited to go to recess. So I can't wait to see our kids next week outside playing and interacting, the way we all love to see them. So let me go over just a few sort of bullet points and an overview for our lunch and recess program. Students have lunch and recess for 55 minutes. It's about 25 minutes of each. So 25 minutes of eating and 25 of recess time, and sort of a little bit of a 5-minute transition between the two. When at all possible this year, students will be eating outside. So normally, obviously, we eat in our cafeteria. We will be having a sort of outdoor cafeteria set up on our blacktop. Tables and chairs have been provided by the district that are more easily set up outside. And students will be recessing, obviously, outside as well. Recess will take place on the field area. We have a large field behind the school, and the playground area. The playground will be open at Marshall. Children will be required to maintain masking, keep their masks on throughout all of recess. So in regards to health and safety protocols, keeping the masks on during recess allows the children to be able to sort of play freely. So they're not necessarily socially distancing at that point, and they are mixing within classes per se, meaning they can run around freely during lunch and recess time as long as they have their masks on. They will, of course, be removing their masks for eating time. At that point, they will be seated, of course, at tables. So they will be socially distanced, and they will be asked to remain within their seats to keep that social distancing happening during the eating time. There will be procedures in place that the kids will become very familiar with, obviously, with, where their teachers will be bringing them out, what door to use. Within a few weeks, it will become very normal and very routine to them as to how the lunch and recess period functions. In order to maintain social distancing, we have reduced the number of classes actually that will be eating and sort of going to lunch at the same time. So we have less classes than we normally do, which simply sort of extends our lunch recess periods throughout the school day. They're taking place for a longer period of time because we're reducing the amount of classes that are going outside for lunch recess at the same time. If there is inclement weather, obviously the students will then need to be indoors. So we do have an indoor eating option. Some of the same health and safety protocols apply. So children will be seated in the cafeteria or in their classroom, let me say, for indoor eating, because we will be spreading the classes out in order to maintain social distancing. So classes will do that on a rotating basis if it's indoor, so that we don't have one class that sort of always eats in their classroom, right, and another class that always eats in the cafeteria. There will be a rotating schedule for indoor eating so students can experience both. Recess will be the same, and it will be the same as it sort of always was, in the sense that if it's indoors, there'll be small, like, tabletop games and indoor activities that the students can participate in. Obviously with an emphasis on hand sanitizing, again, but they will be able to interact and play with different indoor games during that time. Same as for eating, they will be dispersed throughout classrooms and different indoor building space in order to maintain social distancing. If they're inside, when they're recessing, they will be recessing just with their class, though. And that honestly is a standard procedure that we've had for many years. They're usually just indoor recessing with their own class, not multiple classrooms. Something to note, lunch is actually free this school year. So for any parents that were concerned about, when they're receiving lunch forms or filling anything out or filling up lunch accounts, that actually will not be necessary. So lunch is being provided free for all students. And so a lunch account is not necessary. Students don't have to, know PIN numbers or things, for those of you that might have been familiar with that with older students. Another detail to share is that the district is offering, and this is new as per the pandemic, the option to have your child go home for lunch and recess. So more details will be communicated to families about this in the coming days. There will be an electronic alerting system that we will have here at Marshall, meaning you will log on to either an email account or an electronic form. We're finalizing that within the last day or so. So you will have to preemptively alert us, essentially, is the routine. So if you are making the decision to take your child home for lunch and recess for that particular school day, there will be a time in the morning where you have to give us that alert so we know to put them on the list, that they will be brought to the main entrance for pickup. So you will come to the main entrance of the building, which is the front doors by the main office. You'll be able to sign out your child at that time. And of course, the obvious is that we really impress upon families, in order to keep a smooth and efficient schedule for our students, that we do have students return within the 55 minutes. We can't really have them return too early, obviously, because we'll have staff on a rotating schedule meeting you at the front door to pick students up. But we also really urge you, if you choose these options, to have students back within that 55-minute period, so we can get them right back to class at the same time as their peers. That is not a commitment, let me just say. As I said, this is a family's decision, and it can change day by day. So you're not committing to take your child home for lunch and recess all the time. You can choose on the days with which you're able to do so. Just looking at my notes, making sure there's nothing else I wanted to go over with you for lunch and recess. I think that pretty much covers it. It's, as Nurse Johnson said earlier, again, because of social distancing and the need to try and keep, all of our staff members safe and healthy, and the students, of course, safe and healthy, we are encouraging, probably more so than we normally do, for particularly our young students, our kindergartners, to be as independent as possible. So our lunch monitors are not always having to, work very closely with our students to, help them with feeding, help them with opening all of their packaging for lunch and recess. So we do impress upon you to sort of reflect on that over the next few days. If your child is bringing lunch, to try to pack the lunch in a way where your student can be as independent as possible. Containers that they can open, water bottles or drinking containers that they can open and maneuver. We are, of course, here if they struggle. We know that may happen. If they can use little bags and things, again, that they can open for snacks and lunch, that is also very helpful. If they're buying lunch, let me just say, for outdoors, the district is putting the lunches in sort of easy to carry containers. So it's still a hot lunch the way they normally would get it, but instead of just being on a tray, which the kids are normally used to here, it will be just in a bit more of a contained box so that they can bring it outside more easily and sit outside and have their lunch. All right. So that's all I have at the moment for lunch and recess, just a brief overview. And now I'm going to move over to Ms. Horn, who's going to talk to you a little bit about character education at Marshall.
Before I do that, and the character education will be really brief, I do want to introduce you to our social worker, Ms. Shazan Napoleon.
Hello, everyone. My name is Shazan Napoleon, and I am the social worker for both Marshall School as well as South Mountain. So typically I'll be at Marshall School on Wednesday and Thursday. However, if you have a question or any kind of concern, you don't have to wait until Wednesday or Thursday to relay those questions or concerns. So the best way to contact me would be via email so that we can coordinate schedules and have a mutually agreeable time to discuss. As a social worker at Marshall, I typically do the counseling for students that have counseling in their IEPs, their individual education plan. But I also am the whole school social worker, so I will be in and out of classrooms as necessary. For those students that do not have an IEP but may have some kind of social emotional needs, or even some time to adjust, or their any kind of dysregulation throughout the day, we also have social work intern program, whereby the social workers will be starting a little later in September, and they will be available for those needs. But again, if you see me, if you know me, and if you just want to have a question or concern, just feel free to send me the email, and then I'll make sure that it gets to the correct person. So welcome, and I hope that your children have a fantastic year.
Thank you, Ms. Napoleon. And moving on to character education, and we're almost done. We have to have a hard stop because we are actually having a pandemic response team meeting with the Marshall team very shortly to finalize some things in preparation for school opening. But I did want to mention that we do have a character ed program here called Grow Up Kind, and we focus on one character trait each month. There are in-class activities for students, and there are read-alouds. Last year, we did our read-alouds on video, and we emailed them to teachers, and the teachers showed them virtually. We're hoping to get into class, to actually get into classrooms with books in hand and see children this year. But just so you know, Grow Up Kind stands for gratitude, respect, optimism, wisdom, unselfishness, perseverance, kindness, initiative, neatness, and determination. So those are all the things we're going to focus on, one trait each month. Before Mrs. Swiberius goes to CPAC, which will be the final thing, I did want to mention that if you have an issue with busing, you need to contact the transportation supervisor, Tammy Talmadge. If there's a concern about the Y program, you want to know what their procedures are, they're totally separate from the school. So you would need to communicate with the Y about what their procedure is. And with regard to the free lunch, I don't believe that you have to request in advance whether or not your child will have the lunch or bring lunch from home. It's totally your option. So I'm going to take that back to Mrs. Swiberius to end with CPAC.
Thanks so much, Mrs. Horn. So as Mrs. Horn said, this is our last topic for the day. We just really want to introduce what CPAC is. CPAC is our Special Education Parent Advisory Committee, and it's a really helpful supportive group that we have here in South Orange Maplewood. It's an advocacy group that works collaboratively with the district to help support special education families. It's really helpful for people to also network and connect with other parents. It provides parents with tools and information to be more effective advocates for their children. We do have a CPAC parent liaison. I don't believe she's on with us today, but her name is Allison Gluck. And she has an older child at Marshall. So I do want to close by saying we will be sending out to kindergarten families a PowerPoint that has just a brief bit of information we've shared today, but it does have names, email addresses, things like that. So if you were thinking, oh, I didn't catch that, or I want something, in hard copy, we will send that in an e-blast to you. We just didn't want to project it during the presentation today. And at the end of it, we've included just a few pictures of the inside of Marshall. We know we wish you could have come in person with your children. They will see Marshall soon enough on Monday, but we know it might be a little while before you guys get to see the inside of the building. So we thought it might be fun and helpful for you to preview those photos. They're photos of the building and also just the insides of a few different kindergarten classrooms. Thank you so much for spending this time with us. We hope everybody has an amazing day.
So please wait for the email. We're going to send something out. We so apologize to your family members, spouses who were unable to get into the meet. We were assured that 250 people could join this Google Meet today, and suddenly in the midst of the meeting learned that we were capped. So we've been communicating with IT to find out exactly what the problem is. Fortunately, we have videotaped this, so we'll make sure that we get this out to all families. As stated, we do have to have a hard stop today because our pandemic response team is anxiously awaiting to work on these protocols to make sure we are ready to open on Monday, ready to open safely and greet your kindergartners. But thank you for your participation today. Thank you for your patience. And if you have additional questions, please feel free to email us. We are so inundated with school preparation activities, but we promise, we are responsive and we will always get back to you. Have a good afternoon, everyone. Bye, students.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye, teachers. Bye.
Bye.
Thank
Thank
you. Bye.
Bye.
Bye. See you Monday.
See you Monday.
See you Monday.